just shaved my head. Now it itches. It's like it's dry or something. Who can say? Welcome in. I got a lot to do today. A lot to do. My goal is to work for a couple hours, as I've been doing for the last few weeks. Couple pages. If I can get like 2 pages in of writing, I'll be happy. Anything more than that, I'll be even more happy. Also, I need to what's the cast? I need to edit a book. Which is a big one. It's in 2 parts. It's a longer one of my longer books, which will be released. Should be released the middle of March. See what happens, right? Who can say? So, but I need to get some words on this. On my last thing, my last thingamajig for Severed Press. I need to get that written. So there's a lot going on today. Also, grocery should be here in about an hour. That's just so much. We'll get through all of this together, my fine feathered friends. I'm not going to start the editing yet, but I'm just putting it down. I'm just setting it up. I do got to get into some writing here. So until somebody jumps in and starts talking to me, I might be giant, freshly shaved, head down, breeding. I don't even think I did a great job. Like you can see, this side, you can see maybe I should have done another couple passes on it, but I don't care. Where am I going? Literally, let me look at my calendar. Saturday, we have people coming over. It's Tuesday. I have several days here. Let me mark. My wife is in Atlanta tomorrow and Thursday. So with my wife being in Atlanta Tuesday and Thursday, I'm thinking of either tomorrow, Wednesday, just do my normal 12 to 2. But then I might do a second one later at night. Not like super later at night, but like say 6 o'clock or something on Wednesday. I think that would be interesting. See who's up and around after or during dinner time or whenever the case may be. That might be interesting. And if nothing else, I can get some more writing in. Try to get ahead, as far ahead as possible. So I will not be doing that tonight, but I will definitely try. I'm going to try to do it Wednesday. Now Thursday will be a regular. I am going to write from 12 to 2. My wife doesn't get home until probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I am being interviewed on a baseball podcast at 5 p.m., but it's not live. So yeah, if I can get some extra 1 or 2 in, maybe I will. The more minutes I have for you to watch, the better off I am, right? And the fact that you can watch these 3 times each if you want, just to get the full feel for them. No, no, not have two choice. Have no choice. What's have two choice? Now, see, the bald head is on display today in all of its glory, all of its boundless glory, Keith. Yeah, I just shaved. Although I missed this, not that I missed it. It's just not. I should have done another pass right here. I think now that's going to bother me. I hate when I go out with my wife. We go out somewhere, and then all of a sudden I'm like rubbing. I'm like, wait a minute, I got a big patch right here. Like, why didn't you tell me? She's like, I didn't notice. I'm like, you have. That's your job as a wife. 8 and 40-16 morning back. Yeah, keep all your hair if you can. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Although I've saved a ton of money in the last 30 something years since I've been bald on haircuts. Every couple years I buy a new head shaver or something, some razors. I spent the morning listening to Lorraine's videos. Hope you don't. I do not mind at all. In fact, I hope you obviously followed her, subscribed, and I was planning on doing that this afternoon because I'm pretty much caught up on all of my videos. Except I can obviously once this is done, I can watch this another 2 times. But yeah, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to go through Lorraine's videos as well. So that's good. She'll get some looks. Hopefully, it'll help the algorithm for her. The algorithmicness. What are you writing today? Excellent. I am writing my 12th and last book for Severed Press. I am at 18,500 words of 30,000 words. My goal is just to do a page to get me to like 19,000 words or so. Is that it is mammoth? Yes. Yes, I am writing mammoth. Totally totally cheesy book. Mm. There's Chadlutsky. Yeah, there's Chadlutsky. He says Horror Library 10 opened to subs yesterday. Sent them a little title I call Nail Biter. Nice. Nice. Here's a little number I wrote. It's called Nail Biter. Chess says, Armand, I think my computer played your videos all night this time. Yesterday I was on number 56. Now I'm on 77. That is awesome. So, again, it's 5 days before. So last Friday, I had 60 hours watched. And I also gained like 150 subscribers. I'm up to 7,100 subscribers and over 2,200 hours. So I thank everybody for playing my videos. The problem will be tomorrow because then that will be Saturday, I believe. I believe Saturdays are always very, very low days. So every seventh day, my numbers drop. So I believe that would be tomorrow, if I'm correct. I don't know. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you running. My wife is going to Atlanta tomorrow, super early tomorrow morning for 2 days. And today she works from home. So she's working at her mom's house. And so she's only got her laptop over there for work and it's not very fast. So she's not running videos. So I will lose out on Tuesdays as well. But at work, she was listening yesterday talking about uh, when she asked you a question about the red line. I mean, she could have asked me, I'm her husband, but all that, and then we were talking about setting up a queue to just run things or go to the playlists and that. So she said before she left work today, she started one of the playlists. I think the YouTube live, the live one, and she's like, I'm just going to let it run and see if it runs all night, basically until the computer shuts off, which is cool. So I appreciate all of that because it definitely helps. Definitely. There's Charlie. What's going on? It's so funny. My coffee of the day videos, like today, I guess because I didn't roll out of bed till 9:30, but I didn't record it till like 10, and I have 14 views. Where normally I get a couple hundred views on those. Not that they really mean anything. It's just weird. Some days it's 200, 300, 500, 13. It's just weird. Just weird. I also got to record a video today for tomorrow for Wednesday, but I have about 30 different topics that people have been giving me and I've come up with, which is awesome. So now I just kind of pick and choose and I'll record one this afternoon. I also blocked off like an hour later on to watch Lorraine videos. So I'm going to go through and watch as many as I can and watch them, comment on them, help her algorithm. They say the algorithm's going to get you. Part does not have an E in it in the middle. That's weird. And I had no idea. So yeah, so about 1:00, between 1 and 3, a food delivery should be here from Walmart. Charlie says, I've watched a couple of Rain videos. I need to get to some more. Well, that's what I'm doing today. And Keith is watching them. Watched some this morning. So let's all help out Lorraine and watch some of her videos. And then obviously comment on them because that also really helps. I had a couple of spam ones yesterday. Frank says, I'd love to watch all your videos, but I keep having to go outside and shovel snow. So I'll make you a deal. You send me up a kid to shovel all this stuff, and I'll sit on the couch and watch your stuff. My kids have never shoveled snow. My kids barely. My daughter the youngest was 8 months old, maybe when we moved to Florida. And the other ones were 4 years old. So those kids have never had to shovel snow. Yeah, the other two have never shoveled snow. They played in snow, but never shoveled. Or, this is a crazy idea, beat those kids about the face and neck and say, you like eating here? You like living? You like that room? You like the heat on? Go in that room. Go outside and shovel. Are you supposed to get more snow this week anyway? Just let it. Just leave it. Just leave it. Flamethrower. 4 words for you. Flamethrower. I'm gonna say your kid, just a kid. I know that's human trafficking, but tough times. Is it human trafficking if you're just basically getting them to shovel snow? Yeah, probably, yeah. I don't have any random extra kids lying around because then I would have them cut the grass instead of paying these people to cut my grass. Anyway, my wife placed a big food order through Walmart because we get all of our pills because we're old. It's me, it's her, it's her aunt, it's her mother. We get 4,000 bottles of pills delivered here every week, and it's apparently it's free. The delivery's free, so then you can also order food at the same time. She's like, I don't have time to go food shopping. What do you need? I'm like, here's my list. And she's like, oh, egg noodle. Oh, you want egg noodles? I'm like, yeah, let's get some egg noodles in this house. I do love some egg noodles. But then she's like, "Oh, I'm like, when are they going to be delivered? Oh, between 1 and 3. I'm like, you mean probably when I'm on YouTube Live? And she's like, pretty much you're always on YouTube Live at this point. So I don't know when else to have them delivered. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fair point. It's 47 degrees out. So if they stay out there for a few minutes, I mean, if they deliver at 1 o'clock, I got to pull them in. But if it's closer to 2, I'll just leave it out there for a little bit. Aiden says, have you ever delved into web novels by chance, like Reverend Insanity or Lord of the Mysteries? No, I'm not. I'm not familiar with what constitutes a web novel. Give me the definition, Aiden. Ooh, I had pork roll and cheese on cinnamon raisin bagel for lunch today. I'm sure Keith will go, that's gross. And if Lorraine was here, she'd go, that's gross. And I don't care. Delicious to me. I have no idea what I'm having for dinner tonight, though, because my wife won't be home till like 10 o'clock, as usual, on a Tuesday. Keith says, do these comments in the live chat transfer over to comments on the video? Yes, because I clicked the button that says they transfer over. I don't think I've actually watched the videos again, like really paid attention, but they should based on what I did. What is this? Okay. My wife wants to know what time my appointment is for next week to draw blood. Yeah, they should. There's like when you set this up to go live, one of the boxes that is not checked is something about comments. Frank says it'll post the comments as they appear in the live stream. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But again, you got to click that button in order to for it to transfer over, which I do every time. Because I'm like, you know what? Even though I'm reading the comments and I'm saying who's saying them, a lot of times it's still nice if you're watching it. So, like the other day, for instance, yesterday's, I think I had like 9 people in the viewing live. I don't know. I had 15 viewers live, but now just looking at it, I have 39 views on the live video from yesterday. So I'm definitely having people 37, 27, 38, 93. One of them watched. So I'm definitely having people also watching them after the fact, which is good. So hopefully with that part in there, they can actually follow along. Frank says, I'm getting blood drawn tomorrow. Twinsies. Will you pass out? Because next Thursday, or the 5th, whenever that is, not this coming Thursday, the following Thursday, I will more than likely pass out. Aiden says, mainly like serial fiction released on like Royal Road or web novel platforms. They are more popular in the Eastern countries like China and Korea. Uh, Frank gets like Wattpad or whatever. Yeah, so I do on my Patreon, I do 2 different books. And I do a new chapter of each every week, every month, sorry. So I'm writing a 50 chapter book. It's taken me like 4 years to write that book. But people on there follow along and you get it as part of your dollar tier, $5 tier, $10 tier, whatever, wherever I place that book. So I'm writing that way and putting them up. Aiden says a web novel is a story published primarily or exclusively on the internet, usually serialized in installments, chapters released over time, often written by amateurs or indie authors. They feature fast-paced plots, direct reader feedback, and niche genres, acting as a digital alternative to traditional professionally edited novels. Yeah. So that's kind of what I mean. That's basically what I've been doing for 10 years now on Patreon. Is I've actually written a lot of books on there over the many years, and then a lot of those books have been published. Not all of them. I think I got 4 books I've written on there that have never been published, only on there. Frank says, "No, I'm fine with needles and other similar torture devices. I'm not good with that, Frank. I told you the last time I went, I literally passed out in the chair. So I'm going to get it done again. My wife has to be there. I'm like a 5-year-old. I can hold my hand. Talk to me about something. I'll talk about Frank Edler for the 8 seconds it's going to take for them to do this." Chad says, "How ironic is it that one comment I post about comments not showing anymore, that comment doesn't show up?" I don't know what's going on with you, Chad. Chad says, "I'll try posting the comment again, but boy, is this getting old. I don't understand what's going on. Are you not hitting the space bar or something?" Chad says, "One thing I don't like about YouTube versus Twitch is not all of my comments show up anymore. So you all are missing out on either hilarious jokes or extremely important information courtesy of the professor." You know what? Exactly. I'm not sure how we're even doing this at this point. Chad isn't even placed in the top 3. No, not even. Although my thing is mine's a little weird today. Like my setup is weird. Like the crowns should be after your name. And on I don't know how it is on your feed, but on my feed, they're after your post. That's weird. I don't get it. And I know it's usually right after your name. So it's like Aiden 4016 crown number 2, for instance. Keith says, "After the name for me." See, I see Keith Gueva, after the name for me, and then the crown, which looks weird. I don't know what's going on. This is all insane. All of it just completely insane. It's 49 degrees out, right? High of like 55 today or something crazy. But there's no breeze at all. But it's warm because my wife had the heat on when she left. And now I'm like, should I just turn the heat off and let it get a little colder? Should I crack a window and let it get really cold? Frank Edler, I was like, if Essig got to a baby fight before Chad mentioned the accused. Nutty. Keith says the Gremlins are making a comeback. I guess so. Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years. I listened to some LL Cool J yesterday. I don't know why. Did anybody see the article about Fred Durst wanting to sing on if Alex Van Halen does a new Van Halen album? He wants to see he wants to be one of the singers on there. Fred Durst. I don't know. That seems a little odd. Frank says, you forgot Oreos and ate Cool J cookies. Yeah, exactly. Van Durst, yes. That's definitely, I think, what they're going to end up calling that band, which makes perfect sense. It just seems like I don't know. I can't, Alex Van Halen, in every interview I've ever seen him, he has no sense of humor. So I can't see where he'd be like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, that's interesting. I can't see, like, he just seems like he has no personality. Frank says, I fully support a Fred Durst fronted Van Halen. Yeah. His thing, basically, what I read is that he's like, if they're looking for guest vocalists for tracks, I'm in. That's always been a big dream of his. Little Jacksonville kid listening to Van Halen. Chess, is this like Corey Feldman asking to throw down a solo on the album? Yeah. You know what? What do you think he learned all those hot licks from? From Eddie Van Halen taught him? Like, I wonder if the idea is, and I haven't done too much research on it. I wonder if the idea is we're gonna get a bunch of guests on this album. Supposedly he has like 5 albums worth of material that that him and Eddie recorded already musically. So are you going to get like did Eddie record all the bass parts? Probably on his keyboard. He probably recorded all the bass parts. So really, you just need lyrics and a singer on these. So are you going to do a bunch of guest people? Or are you going to just hire a singer to do it? Or are you going to like what are you going to do here? They're not touring. He's already said he will not tour without his brother ever. He would not play a show without his brother. Saying that this time next year we're going to be talking about the Van Halen tour because they're offering him millions of dollars and he probably needs all that. He probably needs all that money. Chad says Wolfie laid down the bass. That's what I read. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Obviously, he won't ask Sammy Hagar to come back and do it because Alex apparently just wants to ignore that whole part of their career. Maybe he'll get Roth back in for a couple of songs to aggravate him. Ches says maybe have him lay down the vocals too. You know what? That I would not have a problem with that. I think the kid's got a good voice. And there's your direct tie-in. Although Frank wants to see Fred Durst singing for Van Halen, so who knows? He wants to see Van Biscuit. It'll be interesting, like every other thing that Van Halen has ever done, if it ever comes to fruition. Yeah, I use the big word. Chances, honestly, I'd love to see a double album. One side is Sammy's rendition of what he did with the songs, and the other is Dave's. That's the record I want. And that would be a great. I think that would be a great record. Great marketing. Kind of like when Danger Danger did that with Ted Poley recorded the album, and then the record company never released it because it was the '90s, and then the new guy came in and recorded all those songs, and then later on they put out both versions of the songs. And I listen, I'm a Ted Poley fan, but some of those songs sounded better with the other guys singing them. I'm just going to be honest. Maybe they were never as big as Van Halen, but that's the only reference I got at this point. Charlie says that would be great. That would be. Hopefully, Sebastian Bach joins the band, and then they all make billions of dollars, and then Skid Row's just still like, well, we're still looking for the next singer for the next one album we do before they decide they don't want to do this anymore. That's the probable thing that's going to happen, right? They don't want Sebastian in the band, but in reality, he'll join and go, yeah, I don't want to hang out with these guys anymore. Man, I forgot how much of jerks these guys are. Chad says, grab Mike Patton for it. He can squeeze it in. Him and Scott Ian can come over. Scott Ian can do all the what's the name? Luthiker doesn't have to do any of the and any of the what do you call it, guitar parts. Scott Ian can do all rhythm guitars. He'll be like, I know how to I can do this. I just do the same setup. Instead of me doing Dimebag Darrell's setup, I'll just do Eddie Van Halen's setup. I'll just run through his amps and heads, and then not a problem. Let me play the Frankenstein guitar. I got this. That's too many words. Better. Chad says, I feel like Patton might hold the record for having been in the most projects for any musician other than studio musicians. I feel like Scott Ian probably beats him. But that would be it. Scott's been in like 5 things. Heading to Wikipedia. You know that like I'm looking at this, and there's basically these people that are pointing out like 3 bands for everybody. What's up with the pop-ups? So other people like 2, 3, 4 bands, 4, 3. Yeah, they only list Scotty and his Anthrax and the Damned Things, forgetting all of the other ones that he's been in. Oh, Mike Portnoy though, he's been in 7 bands. That's a good one. Like, why you get guys who've been in three bands? Gary Holt, Exodus, and Slayer. Why are you on this list? Yeah, why are you listen? You listen to guys that have been in like 2. Jimmy Page. We and they're missing a lot of. Just looking at these, I'm like, there's a lot of side project things that they did not. So far, Mike Portnoy, according to this list, seems to be. Come on. I hate when it just freezes on you. Well, I'm not even gonna look at this list because this is Sammy Hagar and Ronnie James Dio are the only 2 singers that I can think of, the top of my head, who were successful with multiple bands. Really, was Ozzy Osbourne in more than one band? No, he wasn't in that band. He was just on television. What musician has been in the highest number of successful groups? This guy's talking about jazz age stuff. Yeah, these people are talking about like, Paul McCartney. He was in 3 bands. So were 100 other people. There's way too many listed for Patton to sit here and count them all. To name the most popular, Faith No More Bungle. Yeah, and that's the problem. Most of these lists are ignoring all the bands that have been in multiple bands, and it's all like, oh, they've been in 3 bands together. That's a lot. No, it's not. But were all those bands successful? because most of that shit you never heard. Let's be honest. Yeah, most of these are gonna be like they don't that doesn't count because they weren't in a successful band or they never recorded or they never did this or they never did that. I was like, oh, Geezer Butler, he was in 3 bands. What? Hell. My vote is gonna be Mike Portnoy, who's been in about 1 billion bands. Just know every band I listed are very popular. Dave Lombardo was in 2 of them. Vince Hamill's in. I don't know. I don't know any of these new shitty bands. You have your ear to the ground on this stuff. I don't. Ooh. Also, Pat and Fanboy. Yeah. Speaking of Fanboy, did you see Lansdale's doing one more Happen Leonard book that's coming out, and then he's going to do I guess, a wrap up novella at some point or something, unless he comes up with some new stories. I read that on one of the Facebook posts today. Next one will be the last Happen Leonard novel. I saw he made a post about Hap Leonard, but I didn't read it. You didn't read it? He didn't send it to you first? I guess that's the idea is he's doing this next one that comes out, I guess this summer. It will be the last Happen Leonard book, but then he has plans for a novella. I guess, unless he comes up with some new stories or this one sells really well. I would imagine. Stop. Here we go. Here's the spam. Greetings. Join many proactive business leaders who have already snagged our new low rate funding option. Go away. Chess says, I forgot to mention he whispered in my ear doing spooning last night. That does make a lot of sense. Too much sense. Frank's being quiet because he's probably out there snowing things, shoveling snow, something. Hmm. All right. So I guess my goal will be I've already finished about a page and a half, written about 700 words. So maybe I'll write some more, get to the next page, and then the hopefully the food will be delivered. Just as what are you writing today, Army? As I've already explained to Keith, I'm writing Mammoth, the last book in my Severed Press 12-book contract. I'm at almost, I was at 18,000 words when I started this morning. I'm at 18,706 now. So I'd like to get 19. Hit 19 of 30 today. That's insane. That's Frank just sent me that picture. Look at that picture. Who needs that much snow? Who needs that much snow? Mammoth Van Halen. Yeah, that's the name of this book, Mammoth Van Halen. It's about a chubby bass player who becomes the lead guitarist and lead singer in a band. Total fiction stuff. Lunchtime. Chad says Taken. I'm not sure why he said Taken. Frank sent that picture and he's like, "Oh, you guys are sure you're all glad you're not in this." And I'm like, "Well, Chuck's still in this because he didn't move far enough south like me and Tom." I hope the protagonist's name is Fred D. Yep. It's actually Jimmy Durst. No relation. It might be his brother. Chad says Taken because my comment didn't show up before that. I don't know what you're doing wrong over there. Everybody else doesn't seem to have that much of a problem with it. It's weird. Has anybody seen a picture lately of the Olsen twins? I believe they just turned 39 and they look like they're in their 60s. They both look so skinny and awful. My wife showed a picture yesterday. She's like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Who's?" I'm like, "I don't know, a couple of old broads." She's like, "That's the Olsen twins. They just turned 39. I'm like, "There's no way." It's them. Chad says, "Where the heck did you take the pic, Frank? Tatooine?" Hoth. The ice planet Hoth. Frank says, "When you have that much money, you don't need to eat anymore." I guess not, because they just both look awful. You would imagine, right? I mean, law of averages, one of them would actually, like, I don't know, weigh what a normal person would weigh. And then she would look super fat in front of her super skinny, heroin chic, uh, 100-pound sister. It's just all of it just insane. Insane. Chaz, I'm not talking about the snow. I'm talking about the Tatooine looking structures alongside that trail. Well, stop. He lives in a very, very poor neighborhood that's basically made of cardboard. So now you just made fun of his house. Yeah, that round structure on the right, that's where him and all of his family lives. Chad says, maybe I can't see the pic very well. Sorry, Frank. Frank says, those are tanks, Chad. You know, like in the beginning of The Sopranos, when you see all the New Jersey, you see all the tanks and stuff. That's literally where Frank lives. Every morning, his wife has to go up on the top of the tanks and check the levels for gasoline and the oils and stuff, filled with Jawas. Frank says, not untrue. No, thank you, Mr. Spam. That woman called me again this morning about getting my books to their Hollywood representatives, blah blah blah, from another country, and just reading the script, and I'm like, "Ma'am, I have literally called you awful names the last 3, 4 times you have called me. Apparently, you're just going to keep calling me. And you're not going to take me on this. Is there a section on your computer where you can put in a note and say this person is very angry and very aggressive and does not want to work with us because you're all just a bunch of snake oil salesmen and on and on? Should I start cursing at you? Should I call you the C word again, ma'am?" And then she hung up. And guess what? 2 days from now, she will call me again. Because they want to work with me. They want to work with my book. Down and Dirty, book 4. Like, no. Frank says, no, Chad, you're correct. They look like tattooing buildings. Most people equate the look of my job site as something out of Breaking Bad. It's because all the meth that's in those. That's probably why. Charlie says, that's in New Jersey? I'm not repeating what Frank said. That's in New Jersey, yep. All right, maybe I'm done with the writing phase. I need to get some editing phase. Frank asks, ever named a character Blinky? I don't believe so, no. I mean, great name for a character. Chad says, did I tell you guys I joined a random virtual book club that reads classics and that I'm halfway through Slaughterhouse 5? I've only read the first two Slaughterhouses. I was not impressed. Ooh. I feel like at some point I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. Frank says, you did mention Slaughterhouse 5. Yes, you did mention that. So I believe you had mentioned that you were joining the virtual book club. So how is that going? Charlie says, I think each sequel ramps up the slaughter. Yeah, I mean, by the time you hit Slaughterhouse 11, ugh, that's just brutal. That's like John Wick back in the day kind of thing. I mean, people are just dying left and right. No, no mushroom coffee today. I keep forgetting. Again, it's buried in all the boxes behind me in coffee. My wife's like, take all that coffee and put it in the other room with all the other coffee. I'm like, there's no room in the other room for all the coffee. And then I gotta go in there every day and then fight the cat to stay out of the bedroom because she immediately runs in there, goes under the bed, and then she messes up the room, but then she won't come out, and then it's like a huge fight. Oh, it's so aggravating. I get so angry. So angry. The first meet I'll be a part of is this Sunday evening. I'm just going to sit there and listen. And I'm going to start doing I'm going to start doing some edits on this. Chapter 1, perfect. Chapter 2, perfect. I need some more light. My eyes are awful. All right, chapter 3, we got a question on this one. If you were my garbage man, garbage people, I don't know what they call themselves now. You get a free book. Now I go through my own. I notice in a lot of my stores they say wanna instead of want. Want to. It's not I want to know what love is. It's I want to know what love is. I see. So I said he had one shot and then he fires two more times. That probably won't work, right? No, I got it. All right, that makes sense. Of course, only one of the beta readers caught that. The number of bullets. I'm sure the first person who read it would have caught that, right? First person who read it, chapter 4 would have been like, it says he took his shot his with his only bullet, and then he shot the guy two more times. Frank says, yeah, or yeah. He says, yeah. Actually, you wanna, yeah, you gonna. That's how I talk. Come on. I hate editing. What are you looking at? Right there. Okay. Save that. Pollyanna. Probably wanna. Probably want a cracker. Yeah. Whole big mess of a problem in chapter 7. It looks like between 5 beta readers, I got 4 different questions. So I'm good. I'm good for now. I get to the point. I'm like, I don't want to. I got to rewrite a chapter here or something. I ain't doing all that. everyone, how's Tuesday treating you? Very good, Lorraine. Very good. Chad says, hey, Lorraine. Keith, who should be still on, said that he was watching some of your videos this morning, Lorraine. And I have set aside an hour of my day later on to also watch and comment on some of your videos. So I figure once everyone's done watching my videos, we should all watch Lorraine's videos and follow along with her. He says, I'm here just to have this minimized. Then you can't see all this prettiness. Frank says, just give him an infinity gun and be done with it. Chad says, I didn't even know Lorraine had videos. Yes, she has a lot of videos. Lorraine says, hey, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Frank says, howdy, folks. Yeah, Chad, once you're done watching all of my videos on a loop, you also mix in some of her videos. She's got like 40 videos or so. She's got a bunch of videos. She needs more followers, though. I do know that. She got 64 videos, 82 subscribers. And they're all in that perfect 8 to 20 minute range. So when she does go, when she does get monetized, anything over 8 minutes, she will be able to have that video monetized. And they say never to go over 20 minutes if you can help it. So she got a lot of 18, 14, 5 minute. So she got a bunch of stuff. So I will be watching later. I'll be starting from the beginning, watching as many as I can, 1 hour. Keith says I can only handle so much pretty in one day. I get it. Lorraine has also been in one more band than Mike Portnoy. You know what? You're probably right. I have another one out today about querying. Oh, I want to see that one. Make sure that one goes up live. Right now, I have to go to the bathroom. You like my all gray outfit? I'm the gray man today. Bathroom time. feel like that won't be the last time that happens. Chaz says, I found her channel. Oh, she's a real lady. I need to watch what I say in here. You guys do too. Class it up, boys. Exactly, Frank. Lawrence says, I just laughed so hard, I heard. Charlie says, I need to watch the querying one. I haven't done much of that. Lorraine says, the video's kind of late considering I'm going to self-publish now. But I had fish bite the bait. Fortunately, they let go. You know, but we want to hear that. Those are the stories we want to hear. You know? Not, hey, so I sent out one query and an agent picked it up and now I make $1 million. That doesn't help anybody. Charlie says, I'm leaning towards going self-publishing too. I think you should follow that process with your third novel, Lorraine. You mean query again? Keith says, each of your children deserve the same focus. Yep, send the queries to the ones that at least requested the full manuscripts. Hell, you don't even have to wait until it's finished. Just do a proper outline. Frank says, we need to do something about this. Here he comes. Be cool. Everybody be cool. I feel like that's going to happen a couple more times. I'm going to send my wife a message. Let me know when the darned food is coming. She read it. Then she's either going to say, okay, or she's going to say it's on its way. So there's this girl, young girl, probably early 20s. She walks her dog every day. And it's 51 degrees, so it's not like it's super crazy cold or warm. You know, it's probably really nice out. I should probably open the windows. But she's in gym shorts, sandals, and then she's got a heavy jacket on, and she's wearing a wool cap and she has a scarf around her neck as she's walking the dog. Does that make any sense? Like the top of her body, from her waist up, it's like you're in a snowstorm, and from your waist down, it's like you're on the beach. So it won't come to between 2 and 4. Oh, good. So I will probably just be about wrapping this up. First, do you normally go and think this is it? This is the last time I'll ever have to do this? No, but I always think, okay, I did it, but I can already feel the factory is moving the next line of product along. So I feel like, okay, we're not like, okay, good, I'm done. Oh, this is my day is over now. You know, I feel like, okay, this is good for half an hour, 45 minutes. And again, Lorraine is a lady. Watch how you're talking, Frank. When it's a spring lures us all, but winter won't let go. Half of her is practical. Yeah. I'm like, I guess she was like, it's 50 degrees out. Is that going to be warm? Is that going to be cold? Let's try them both. Let's try them both and see, like, when she gets home, she's like, okay, either I was sweating in this jacket and scarf and hat. She probably had mittens on. Or, oh my God, it was so cold wearing these gym shorts and these sandals. And the dog is just like, you're an idiot. But the dog is saying it like Jerry Lewis, saying, hey, lady, like that, which makes it even crazier. Should have been socks with sandals. I do not like that look, Lorraine. I see that all the time. I'm like, don't wear socks with with sandals. Please, for the love of all that is holy. I got all the way to chapter 7 before I realized I probably got to do a little bit of rewriting here. I bet you see plenty of that in Florida. I see a lot of men wearing sandals with socks, and I'm like, why? First of all, you shouldn't be wearing sandals as a man. You're not even wearing, like, I don't know, like those black sports Adidas ones or something. At least I might give you half a pass on that. But you're wearing what look like Birkenstocks. You're wearing like female ones, and then you're wearing black or white socks with them. You got brown leather sandals on with white socks on. What are you doing? What are we doing as a society? I do not have sandals because I'm a real man. I had boat shoes. I don't even wear boat shoes anymore because they hurt my feet and I'm old. Frank says 43 to go. Charlie says they need brown leather socks. You know what? Then I'd be like, I'll give you the pass on that one. Brown leather socks. Lorraine says, but gladiators wore sandals. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're walking down the street and you're wearing sandals, then I expect a lion or another gladiator to attack you within the next 5 minutes, or your outfit is ridiculous. Frank says Jesus wore sandals, or maybe it's Jesus wore sandals. One of those people, maybe both of them wore sandals. And you know what? He didn't wear socks with them. I have never seen a picture of Jesus with a pair of socks on and sandals on. So if you're gonna wear sandals, I don't like it, but I hate it if you have socks on with it. Today's on Positive Friday, so I can say anything I want. I can say anything I want about the Olsen twins, how awful they look. Those two probably should be wearing socks with sandals. I'm sure their tiny little feet are all kinds of weird. All the kinds of weird. Come on. I don't know what's going on with any of this. All right, so they're not coming between 2 and 3. That's good. That means I can go till close to 2 on this, right? At least another half an hour or so. Then I'll start watching some Lorraine videos, make some comments. Listen, I just bought, that was my nickname in high school. Classic. My short story collection. That is the full gamut of shorts. There's some old short stories. There's some new short stories. It's all there. I appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoy some of my short stories from many, many years. That's the first one, isn't it? Oh, it's the fourth. That's the fourth of the 6 short story collections. Another one will be coming out. 7th one will be coming out in November. Frank says socks and sandals over a one-piece pajama jumper for Mondo Condes. You know what? You could pull off that look. If anybody could do it, you could. And I bought Edgar Allan Poe and the Spectre Eliminator by Keith. You are on a roll. You are on a roll. Do not buy Exploding Bears, though. Just going to tell you right now. Do not buy. Do not buy that book. Frank Idler is a crazy guy, kind of guy. Who is this? I don't know. Let's look that up. A guy who's read pretty much all of my books over the years. He was in my baseball book. Ken. He was also at Shelley's birthday party. He is a huge fan of my books, and he just finished the Down and Dirty series. He's like, "What's new since then?" Now I'm like, "I don't know." Key says, "Thank you." Chad says, "What a supporter." All right, so Chad, I'm just over halfway in Skullface Boy and thoroughly enjoying it. Great coming of age perspective. Probably finish it tonight. Nice. Got to make sure it's all. All right. But Frank said, "I thought Skullface Boy was splatter folk." That's Frank trying to be funny and confusing. Ooh, excuse me. Lorraine, I had pork roll and cheese on cinnamon raisin bagels for lunch today. If you even know what pork roll is. But again, cinnamon raisin bagels on everything on a cinnamon raisin bagel. I think I upset Lorraine. Frank is being facetious. Yes, he is. Chad says Lorraine is a lady. And I could say she ain't a lady. She's a love bomb baby. Love bomb baby, blow me away. Which if me and Chad and John Bowden ever do that um, podcast about music, we are definitely talking about Tiger Tales. And just that song over and over and over again to drive Chad nuts. Lorenz says, Armin, toss up a topic. It's too quiet. That's Frank. Frank needs to toss out some random thing to talk about. Frank says, I interviewed Chad on Bazong because I felt Skullface Boy qualified as Bizarro. I mean, yeah, I could see that, but not anything. Not what the kids are writing today. Bizarro Light. More like Buzz Lightyear. I don't know if everybody knows, but they're doing a Hannah Montana special. Taylor Swift will be on it, singing a couple of her songs. I know my daughter told me that, and I'm like, you're 25 years old. Why you still care about Hannah Montana? My daughter also had jury duty in Orlando, a big murder case. They told her she needed to be there for 2 weeks. And then yesterday she was excused from the, I guess she was an alternate or something, and then they excused her. So she was there she drove all the way to Orlando, like an hour and a half for like 2 hours and then back. But she did say in the jury room, they had a ton of snacks. So she filled her pocketbook with with snacks and then left. That's the way to do it. Larry says, I'm all for speculative fiction written well. Frank says, it's more bizarro than the bizarro being written today. Bizarro, some kind of sub-genre. Yeah, it's like weird fiction, basically. Weird fiction that they all think is splatterpunk, which has nothing to do with the aesthetics of splatterpunk. Frank says, Hannah Montana is way metal. Well, obviously. Is there even Bizarro? Is anybody even calling their stuff Bizarro anymore today? Besides Hannah Montana stuff? Now I have that Tiger Tail song in my head. Chaz is like magic realism extreme. It's also like when George Costanza's girlfriend starts hanging out with his friends. Lorraine says Levi in Skullface Boy only has a bizarro face. The rest of him is 100% heartfelt human. 100% heartfelt human, which is something that no one has ever accused Chad Lutsky of. So I wrote a sentence. It says, why he needed to gain some distance from it again. And then their suggestion is, why did he needed to gain some distance again from it? You're just adding extra words. Stop. First, I don't even think Carlton Mellick claims to write Bizarro anymore. Oh, AI Blabber. Yeah. Stop trying to. I liked Google Doc because they would offer suggestions every now and then, which I usually ignored anyway. unless it was like a typo. And I'm like, all right, it's a typo, makes sense. Anytime it's a red line, okay, I probably spelled something wrong. But if it's a blue line, they're going to offer their AI suggestions, which I'm like, I don't want. A lot of sentences, they also put a question mark at the end. I'm like, no, that's not a question. Is Carmel even putting stuff out again? Not that I really followed his career or anything. I've also never read him, Chad. No interest. Frank once felt at Chad's heart. Oh, that's nice. I was not. A fan of his wife. She was really a jerk to me at a convention. At Scares That Care, when I was going around doing interviews for my podcast. She was a real jerk about it, and I'm like, well, I will never interview you or any of your authors now, and I hope Bizarro disappears. And then I killed it. Like, it's like aliens who never really met a human and are in desperate need of a translator. Yes, which is basically sums up Chad Lutsky. You realize I meant AI, right? Yeah, Chad. Frank says, "Oh, that's what happened." Yep. So you're welcome, or you're mad at me for killing Bizarro. We watched a story last night on Investigation Discovery about a teacher in Florida who, a principal in Florida, like 10 years ago, who hypnotized students in his office. Who's Malik's wife? Rose. Rose is. I don't think they ever really announced that or tell anybody that, but they're married. And and he would hypnotize the students in his office like football players, so they would have a good game. And uh, boys and girls who had anxiety about taking a test, or they were worried about college or something like that, and he would hypnotize them, and then they would pass out with basically their head in his lap, and then he would touch the back of their heads and figure it out. And then three of those students, two of them ended up killing themselves, and then the other one had some psychotic uh, thing while he was driving. He froze up and ended up crashing, and he died. And it was very odd. And then this guy he was never charged or anything. And the school district had told him like 4 years before that to stop hypnotizing students. Like he would have this big, I guess, like a senior day was senior sleep in or something, and they would all all the seniors would spend the night in the gym after graduation, and then he was there, and he would hypnotize a bunch of the students, the males, to come up and wear dresses and put lipstick on and act like they were girls parading around on the stage while everybody filmed it and everything. And then afterwards they were all like, I don't remember any of that happening. Kind of crazy. Frank says, speaking of horror, has anyone watched K-pop Demon Hunters? No. No one's watched it. Chad says, way too deep in the iceberg for me, Frank. Frank says, yeah, they practically try to hide the fact they're married. Yeah. Frank says, "Wow, thank goodness it's not Positive Friday." Exactly. I can say anything I want today. It's non-positive Tuesday. I don't know. I met Carlton Mellick. He was a very, very strange dude. I mean, he's basically on brand. His look, the way he interacts with people, the stuff he writes, all of it is very on brand. Like sometimes you meet people and they're really, really, really nice people and they're like smiley and they're all happy and then they write some really crazy, crazy stuff. Charlie says, my kid liked the original Demon Hunter show, but I don't think he liked the K-pop one. Interesting, or not. I got to come up with a video from this list of 30 different topics to film one for tomorrow for my Wednesday video. And then one for Sunday video. And so on and so forth. But I got a lot of good ideas and people keep giving me ideas, which is also good. I'm trying not to just do the newer one or two ideas that people are giving me, kind of some of the older ones still that were originally written down. I got to do, but it's all kind of what kind of mood I'm in. What do I want to record? So I'll probably go another. I'll probably go for 2 hours. So I'll probably go another 17, 18 minutes today. Get a little bit of more writing in, and then probably take a nap. Get some reading in. I could probably finish one of the books that I'm reading this month. I'll do a video of that later. I'm going to watch an hour's worth of Lorraine videos. Hopefully she'll have the querying one up at some point today. I can watch that one. And yeah, that'll be that. I'm guessing I got to figure out what these notes are all talking about. For chapter 7, I screwed up. Charlie says, how about a list video of your favorite novels? I think I'm going to do one. List videos are supposed to do pretty well, so I'm going to go in and give it a shot. I did like my top 10 lists for last year. I don't even know, like my top of all time. I don't even want to even think about that. Plus, then I got to get my wife to help me with it. I'll put it on the list. I don't think I'm ever going to actually do it. Frank says, I was chilling with Arby from Poultrygeist on Saturday. He also writes books. Chad Leslie says, the Trauma movie? I don't know if he really said like the Trauma movie. I don't know if he actually was like that, but yes. Lorraine says, as soon as I finish talking with you guys, I work on my query video. Perfect. And then I will work on taking my nap and reading. Then I will work on an hour of watching your videos, including that video. Maybe I'll get a little more writing in today. Figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. Figure out how much I really screwed up chapter 7 of this book. At least I did six chapters of editing, so that's already done. I'm tired. Oh, I guess then between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I got to bring in all the groceries. I drink Propel water, but only the lemon. Really, I'll drink any of them, but I like the lemon. But they never have them in the store. So when my wife places an order for delivery, and again, it's free delivery, so why not have somebody else do all of our shopping? Um, they have to be shipped to us. But then she'll order like 4 or 5 cases at a time, and then it's always usually like 100-pound little girl who's got to carry all of them from the driveway to the front of the house, and then I just like leave them. I'm like, I'll drag 1 or 2 of these in. I'm not carrying all these in. These are too heavy. If that little girl can't do it, then I can't do it. 52 degrees. You know what? I'm gonna go turn the heat off and open a window. This is ridiculous. It's so hot in here. You're not a lady here in the bump, baby. Love, bump, baby, come blow me away. Getting nothing to your sweet loving. You heard me open the window? Surprised you're not running in there. Look out the window. See what's exciting going on out in the world. What smells? Frank says, you had a rough day. Every day is rough. Chad says, man, we've got to figure out why half my comments aren't showing. I'm deleting them. I'm like, that's dumb. Delete. I'm trying to talk about Lloyd coughing with Frank, and YouTube doesn't want me to. Frank says, it's getting hot in here. So, baby, take off your clothes. Me opening the window in the dining room got the cat to like, oh, let me get up but let me not go all the way in there. Let me just stand here. Which makes no sense. Now, like I want to open this window here, but then it might just be too cold. I'm wearing gray sweatpants though. How bad can it be? My life is hard. Let somebody recognizes it. Yeah, so my wife will leave her mom's tonight at like 9, go to the airport, grab a rental car, come home, probably go to bed early for her, but it would be like 1 o'clock. And then get up at 5, or have to leave at 5 to drive 5.5 hours to Atlanta for like a 1 o'clock meeting. And then drive all over properties up there, meet with a couple of vendors, crash in a hotel, get up early tomorrow morning, another meeting, another couple of properties she'll need to look at, and then on her way home. Frank says Uncle Lloyd wasn't there. And I guess since we just got that box of meat yesterday, she's not going to stop at Carol's Meat Market in Georgia on the way on 75 to get more meat. Lorenz says, are there other books written by anyone here that I should put in my Amazon cart today? Let's see. You got one from Keith. You got one from Chad. You got one from Frank. You got one from me. Charlie. I don't think Charlie. Does Charlie have a book out? I know Nick Zinn, who's normally here, does not have a book out. Tom Duffy, who's sometimes here, he has books out, but don't put socks in your cart. Frank, what would you say is your most normal of book? Frank. Meat Market. I've met Market before. Jimmy Market. That'd make a great title. Great title of a story. Meet Jimmy Market. I wrote that down. Tish writes romance, I think, so that will be a harder sell for me, but I'll look into them too. Charlie says, I don't have one out yet, just stories and a few anthologies, but I don't get royalties. But they're coming. I just have Substack and YouTube right now. Frank says, go Haunted Hamburger House or Death Gets a Book. That might be the best options for you. Probably Haunted Hamburger House. Lorraine, do you have any book releases yet? Are you still writing your Southern Gothic? Lorraine says, so can I go to Substack for your stories, Charlie? Yes, you can. He writes a bunch of short stories on there, and they're actually very good. Not that I'm totally surprised, but I actually follow his Substack, and I read them. Frank says, Death opens with a scene at a Tijuana donkey show, which is why you should start with Haunted Hamburger House. Frank writes some extreme and extremely odd books. Choices, thanks. Lorraine says, Frank, is your material going to make me go blind? Yes. Yes, it definitely will. It definitely will. And at some point, your husband's going to be like, what are you reading? Lorraine says, I'll be brave, Frank. I get a bad rap. Frank, you are a bad rap. Chaz says, my stuff is all over the place, so if you're looking for more like Skullface Boy, you're not going to find it. It's normally dark, coming of age, drama type stuff, and some crime. All of it's sad. Chad says, write more stuff, Frank. Chad's telling you to write more stuff. Lorraine says, my second novel, That Which Is True Cannot Be, is coming out on May 4th as my debut. Awesome. Make sure you let us all know. I will definitely grab a copy. Frank says, I'm writing hot pepper horror right now. Yeah, so what more normal can you ask for? Frank says, oh, may the 4th be with you. Lorraine asks, is that the title? Chad says, hot pepper horror is like the 80s movie The Stuff, but with hot peppers. Yes. I think that's where he got the idea from. I have no idea. Lorraine says, that's why I picked the date, and it's my birthday. Well, Lorraine, happy 21st birthday when it gets here. You can finally taste what alcohol tastes like. For instance, if I ever turn up dead of a suicide, you can be sure I just finished a Chad Lutsky coming of age novel. Yeah, there's some dark stuff in some of Chad's books. I read that and I'm like, wow, Chad had some crazy life growing up. If he's writing this kinds of stuff. Need to quench my thirst. Lorraine says, what about Neon Owl? That's a good one. That's a crime thriller-ish book. That might be my favorite of one of my favorites of Chad's books. Frank says maybe more like Street Trash with hot peppers. Nice. Frank says Neon Owl is the least depressing Chad book I've read to date, and you still might end your life reading it. Like the teacher hypnotizing people. It's reading a Chad Lutsky book. Well, my estimated royalties on Amazon for today is $1.51. I am killing it. Well, that's depressing. Come on, everybody, watch as many hours as you can here. I'm doing good, 50, 60 hours a day lately. So keep those videos running on in the background all day, all night. Appreciate it. Chess says, Frank, does it have a hot potato scene in it? Wait, says Frank, which of your novels should I start with? Entry level stuff. Keith says, I grabbed Neon Owl and will be reading it when I'm done with High on Bigfoot. You need to take your time. You need to process High on Bigfoot because there's just so many levels to that story. You don't want to miss anything. Or you could probably read it in like one night. Chad says, thank you, Keith. Hope you love both books. Frank says, not yet, Chad, not yet. So this is good. We're all reading each other's stuff. We're all contributing. Which is probably where my $1.51 in sales so far today has come from. I know talking to Peter Marsh on Sunday, I was talking about my A Month of Duncan book. And he's like, what is it? And I'm like, A Month of Duncan. It's a nonfiction book I wrote about going to Dunkin' Donuts for a month every day. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to get it. Is it on Audible? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean? No, I was like, I don't know. I have 200 and something releases. It should be. And he's like, it is. And I said, all right, then buy it. Lorraine, Haunted Hamburger House or Death Gets a Book. Can't go wrong with either of those. Keith says, I'm getting 5 chapters a night on High on Bigfoot. My nights are very jam-packed. Well, I know you. I know. That woman of yours can't keep her hands off you. And you know what? I don't blame her. Lorraine says, I'll be sure to take a look today. Very good. All right, so I'm gonna end this. We're almost at 2 hours, which is nice. I'm leaning toward Death Gets a Book. Read the descriptions of both. See what fascinates you more. And then I will be back tomorrow at noon. We will do this again. Lorraine says I have a thing for cool titles. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate everybody hitting the subscribe button. I appreciate the people who are watching this after the fact and get to see the chat and all the things we talked about in the last 2 hours as well. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night. Enjoy your weather wherever you are.